And you didn't attend the meeting today. Why not?
Again, I totally respect Keith's decision.
So that was his decision.
Yeah. He asked me not to come to the meeting and said I couldn't come, but which I totally understand. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. We're trying to find a way, to make this work and coach the team and give the team the best chance to win. But I also, he's got a job to do, and like he said, he has to live here. So, like he said, maybe all the national people understand why he should let me coach, but he has to live here, and it's a little different when you're the AD. So totally respect that, and Keith has been amazing to us over the 6 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and whoever you are, in this generation, we can't even call you only boys and girls. Okay, boys, girls, elephants, okay, donkeys, however you self-identify. This is the Real Leel Show where we tell no lie. It's going down. It's your boy, the Real Leel, EP6. Stay in your lane, okay? Lane Kiffin, stay in your lane. That's the theme of this show today, as Lane Kiffin proves why he is the biggest con man in college football and maybe all of sports. Sure look like it right now, okay? Now, Lane Kiffin is the hottest story in the NFL, excuse me, in sports right now because of the professional bigotry that this man created over the last couple of days with his announcement that he will be leaving Ole Mississippi for LSU. Now, Lane Kiffin will make about $13 million annually on a 7-year contract, making him the second highest paid college football coach, okay? With a $73 million buyout clause, meaning that if he gets fired, the school will have to owe him $73 million to not coach the football team. Now, when we talk about the word con man, okay? To me, when it comes to sports, there are different con men in the game, right? And when you want to condense it to college football, I once labeled Deion Sanders, aka Coach Prime, the biggest con man in sports for going to the HBCU, which he did, Jackson State, and pretending to be HBCU Black Jesus, only to ditch the program, take his athletes to the transfer portal with him to the PWI. Okay, again, I tell no lie. This is the Real Leel Show. If you don't like it, tune off, okay? Because I'm going to give it to you straight, all right? Now, I do want to apologize a little bit sarcastically to Deion Sanders because Lane Kiffin, he took that title. He took that cake, pulling one of the weakest moves of a head coach of all time. Okay, with his team in the college football playoff, he decided to choose self. He had a very tarnished image, which we're going to talk about. And instead of him trying to rebrand his image, okay, you took Ole Miss to new heights. They're doing very well. College football playoff on the horizon. And you had a chance to at least save your legacy in some regards, because we could look at you and rave about the amazing job that you did coaching this football team. But instead of you taking that route, instead of you becoming the hero, right? We all know the saying, you live long enough to become a villain, right? Well, Lane Kiffin could have been the opposite. He was the villain. He could have lived long enough to become the hero. But instead, he did what he do. All right, the biggest con man in sports, the biggest snake in sports, as a coach. This dude went to LSU, a rival, okay, conference rival. Had the audacity to go to the conference rival, okay? Now, if you look at the history, when you talk Lane Kiffin, this guy has been manipulating the game of college football for a while now. All right, back when he was the head coach of Tennessee, one of his assistant coaches wired $1,500 to a talent scout, Willie Lyles, back in the summer of 2009, to reimburse Lyles for the money he paid to have 5-star running back Late J. Seastruck to visit our Knoxville campus. Okay? This dude, and that's just one example. We could do a whole show talking about all the atrocities and violations when it comes to recruiting that this guy has taken part of, but we don't need to do that because obviously that's why you got Google, okay? That's just one example out of many recruiting violations that this guy has took part of in his career. Look, the reality is Lane Kiffin is the Kevin Durant of college football. He is. And I'm gonna explain exactly what I mean. Kiffin left his job at Tennessee in 2010, did 1 year there, and not allegedly, but went to his dream job, quote unquote, USC, in which he stayed there for a couple years. Got fired from USC. Went to Alabama to be the OC, the offensive coordinator under Nick Saban, before getting the Florida job for 3 years, Florida Atlantic, only to take the Ole Miss job and dish these players amid the college football playoff that they're going to be in. That's like Steve Kerr, as a random example, taking the Warriors. Let me not use Steve Kerr because he already won a couple championships, right? So he could show up one day and be like, nah, I'm not. I'm going to take another job, even though he can't really, right? That's like freaking the coach for the Pacers, Rick Carlisle, taking the Pacers to the championship and saying, you know what? I ain't going to coach y'all guys, okay? Come on, what are we doing here? That's an atrocity there, okay? And the reason why I say, and I compare him to Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant also had one of the weakest moves of any NBA superstar in history. When he left the Golden State Warriors, when he left the OKC Thunder, who got defeated by the Warriors. They were trailing in the series. They were up in the series, rather, 3-1. And he went to the team that knocked him out to get to the finals. A 73-win team. Okay? A rival at that point. Like, that was a weak move. And the thing about snakes and how they operate is in some ways similar to gamblers and drug dealers and drug people that take drugs. It's an addiction. Okay? When you do it, you got to continue to do it. Have y'all ever watched that show, Better Call Saul? You should. One of the greatest shows of all time. Okay? But in the show, the lawyer that the show revolves around, he couldn't help himself but to screw over people, to screw over his own brother, to screw all over other people to get what he wanted because all he had to do was fulfill himself. That's the only thing he cared about. And the same thing goes for these other snakes. That's why Kevin Durant could go to the Warriors and leave. Okay, there's one thing to go there. It was a terrible look for you, and you went there. But okay, how about we come back and do this again? How about we win more chips? Nope. I'm going to go somewhere else because guess what? Now I'm chasing something. Okay, I got a disease. Then he go to Brooklyn because Brooklyn is a new hot thing now. Oh, Kyrie, yeah. We out. Pull up to the Barclay. Then he go to the Barclay. And guess what? It didn't work out over there. The Suns made the finals. Oh, the Suns are the next big thing. Yo, freaking Bradley Beal. Let's go. We out of here. Devin Booker book. Here we out here. Okay, guess what? They didn't win none. They didn't even win a playoff series. Okay. Oh, the Rockets, the next big thing. Yeah. And I know he got traded there. But guess what? These guys are in the up and up. Let me go over there. That's why he's able to continuously move, because he's for self. All right? Screw the teammates. I ain't worried about you. Screw the kids. I ain't worried about you. We all know that Lane Kiffin went into these guys' living room, sat there, probably had a plate of dinner in these guys' living room to make them commit to the program just to dish out. I know that's a bigger issue than Lane Kiffin that has been going on for years in college football, but to build on your team like that when they are in the midst of a championship run, that's like freaking Rick Carlisle taking the Pacers to the daggone finals and say, you know what? I ain't gonna coach you guys in the finals. I'm just gonna chill out. And I might take another job down the line, okay? It's crazy to me. And that's where we are. This guy's a snake. He did a weak move and he had the nerve to use blackmail to get what he wanted, or to try to get what he wanted. And Ole Miss didn't fall for it, okay? Okay, he threatened to take Ole Miss coaching staff with him to LSU if they didn't let him coach the college football playoff. This guy has some nerve, okay? Oh, I'm leaving, okay? Yeah, we made the college football playoff, but by the way, I'm leaving. I'm going to your rival. Oh, yeah, and let me take the staff with me. Otherwise, I ain't coaching. The nerve of this guy. Who is you? And who do you think you are? Okay? Ole Miss did the right thing here. I don't want people to look at Ole Miss funny. Oh, why they spiteful for? Why they not letting him coach the college football playoff? He has some nerve. Kick rocks. Okay? We already know he's going to recruit coaches anyways. Because the guy's a snake. He's a proven snake. Okay? He's going to do it anyway. All right? Because college football is a non-stop recruiting sport. It's ongoing. It's part of his job. It's part of the job. He's going to do it. So to use it as blackmail to get what he wanted, the guy has some nerve. Okay? And the biggest question that we should have going forward is, what does this mean? What does a move like this mean for college football going forward? Because to me, this exposes the flawed system of college football in which coaches can be tampered with throughout the season. Okay? College football needs to copy the NFL on the no contact, no tampering until after the college football playoffs are done. Okay? Because we all know the NFL has strict tampering rules. Okay? But in college football, there's no true governing body of the sport. Coaches are able to leave mid-season. Okay? What does this set as a precedent? Okay? Now teams are going to make moves earlier now. Right? So coaches could dip on their teams mid-season. I won't even be surprised if a guy like Deion Sanders, they go after him and he ditches his team, mid-season. I mean, he ditched the HBCU for the PWI. He took his guys with him. Who's to say he can't dip somewhere else mid-season? Okay? This is a joke. College football needs structure. And salute to Nick Saban, the greatest coach of all time. Also, a visionary, because he saw it coming a mile away. That's why he retired. He saw it. He saw the damage that the NIL was going to do, how it was going to make college football more of a business than a sport, and how the hard work of recruiting was going to be undermined by the mighty dollar, because any school could come into play, come into the picture, and take a recruit from your team at any given moment. There's no structure, okay? And he saw it coming a mile away. That's why he got up out of there. Salute to Nick Saban, okay, for realizing what was ahead, right? You got guys like James Franklin, the former head coach of the Nittany Lions out here getting paid millions of dollars to stay home and not coach, okay? Was able to take a job immediately at Virginia Tech. I mean, college football is becoming a hustle. And when you have an environment that is a hustling environment, you're going to have snakes that's going to do what they do. And Lane Kiffin is no different. And I'm very upset at the dude because he had a golden opportunity to take his tarnished legacy, his, multiple violations throughout the years and people that he screwed over. He had a chance to live long enough to be the hero. And he decided to take an all-time high when it comes to being a villain. Can't help himself. He didn't want to stay in his lane. Okay? And I will end here. He just proved again, while he's the biggest con man in professional sports, period, all throughout, by pulling one of the weakest moves I've ever seen. Salute to those players. And the last thing I'm gonna say here before I sign out is, what does that mean for the college football playoff exactly? Because the committee penalized Florida State because they lost their quarterback because they felt their perception was right. Would they do the same thing with Ole Miss? Sports, politics, conspiracy theories, we are here to give you our unique perspectives on things happening in the world. It's the one and only, The Real Leel on The Real Leel Show.